This is the Cholo News Report for Wednesday 18 October 2017. Party leader and Chinese President Xi Jinping is addressing more than 2,000 delegates in Beijing. The Congress is expected to finish next week. Shortly after the Congress ends, the party is expected to unveil the new members of China's top decision-making body, the Politburo Standing Committee, who will steer the country. In a long and confident speech, he looked back on his first 5 years in office, saying the party had achieved miracles and China's international standing had grown. The Congress has also affected businesses, with some restaurants, gyms, nightclubs and karaoke bars reportedly shutting down due to tightened security rules. The Syrian Democratic Forces announced the end of the battle for ISIL's de facto capital. SDF spokesman announced the takeover of the strategic Syrian city on Tuesday after a final battle at a sports stadium where Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant fighters made their last stand. Council members and Syrian civil society activists were invited to Rome to meet European Union government representatives. According to Noah Bonsi, a senior researcher at the International Crisis Group, EU countries have been reluctant to engage with the RCC, since they have worked with the SNC in the past few years. A suicide attack on a police compound in Gardez, Paktia province, kills at least 20 people, while a separate gun attack at a training facility in neighboring Ghazni province leaves another 15 people dead. The Interior Ministry said that 2 suicide bombers detonated cars filled with explosives outside the provincial police headquarters and its attached training center in Gardez, before gunmen launched an assault against the facilities. The Iraqi army and allied militias continue to seize Kurdish-held territory, taking over several key cities including Kanakin near the Iranian border, Jalala, Bashaka, Sinjar and Rabia, as well as the Mosul Dam. The campaign, which began over the weekend with Iraqi forces moving to control the oil-rich city of Kirkuk, has grown to include areas that Kurds had claimed after the U.S. invasion in 2003. In his first public comments since the loss of Kirkuk, the president of Iraqi Kurdistan, Masoud Barzani, urged Kurds to remain united and suggested his political rivals were to blame for the crisis. The dispute has undermined the U.S. goal of a coordinated military campaign against the Islamic State militant group that would translate into political cooperation between the 2 key American allies. The chief of Amazon Studios, Roy Price, resigns amid reports that he harassed a producer and ignored an allegation by an actress of sexual assault by producer Harvey Weinstein. Many women have shared their experiences of mistreatment on social media, using the hashtag #MeToo, in the wake of allegations of harassment against Weinstein in reports this month by the New York Times and the New Yorker. The company has said it hopes original shows will encourage people to sign up for its streaming and shopping club Prime. Reporting by Jeffrey Dastin in San Francisco, editing by Sandra Maller and Grant McCool. 3 protesters and 1 police officer are injured in clashes between anti-corruption demonstrators and Ukrainian police in front of the parliament building in Kiev, Ukraine. The protesters are calling for an anti-corruption court to be set up, to lose their immunity from prosecution, and changes to the electoral system. They vowed to stay on, putting up tents, and blocking the main road, outside the parliament building in central Kiev. It is time for them to hear us, Mikhail Saakashvili, a former Georgian president and one-time regional governor in Ukraine, told the crowd of several thousand protesters. A federal judge in Hawaii blocks enforcement of the latest version of President Donald Trump's travel ban. The Trump administration's most recent attempt to bar immigration to the United States from certain foreign countries was put on hold Tuesday by a federal judge in Hawaii. EO3 suffers from precisely the same maladies as its predecessor. It lacks sufficient findings that the entry of more than 150 million nationals from 6 specified countries would be detrimental to the interests of the United States, a precondition that the Ninth Circuit determined must be satisfied, reads the ruling.